I can't quite contain or explain my evil ways.
What is up, everybody? Enderheart here with another Gravity Falls fanfiction reading, and today we will be doing more of Cipher's Secret, episode, I don't know, 19, I think. But we have gotten to chapter 15, we're nearing nowhere near the end of the story, but I suggest that it's around the middle, and I noticed that this is not an completed story. So, I'll do updates on it when I get notified that there is a update on it. So, anyway, let's get started right on with this. Okay. I've been practicing on my grunkle stam voice. Okay, and my phone is dead. And then Aronde was met with silence. She thought there would be questions, gaps, exclamations, or whatsoever, but there were none. All Dipper did was stare at her, daring to look into her violet eyes. The color reminded him of a tanzanite, which is Mabel's favorite gem. Oh, Mabel. A single tear slid down the girl's cheek as it made its way to the floor. And the sound of it falling to the floor, shattering into a million pieces, was audible for both her and Dipper. He knew it. He had always known it. Somehow, he did manage to know it. However, one question prevailed. If Aronde was really dead, then what was she doing here, with him? Walking with him, a probable demon? The plague that many humans did not dare to mess with? Humanity feared demons, and they feared anything that was related to demons. Dipper, before going to the Gravity Falls, used to do so until he discovered that there were things worse than demons. There were creatures out there that seemed to be worse than demons. And then there were people who seemed to be worse than demons. Gideon, Pacifica. Dipper wondered why humans feared demons so much. The demons had never come to Earth, causing chaos, death, and wars. Humanity didn't fear demons. They had to fear themselves. Some things are left unsolved, the phantom-looking girl said, with a sad smile, which was the best she could manage to do with the depression consuming her from inside out. And sometimes things don't work our way, and I'm sure you've already discovered that by yourself, but making a deal with a demon to protect your family and friends, and everyone you love. However, I've seen you've grown fond of your new comrades. All Dipper did was nod. Won't you say anything? Dipper looked around and then looked to Aronde and asked, Where are we going? She smiled and kept walking. Dipper looked at her, blinked, and then followed. His wings were a burden, and he would have almost forgotten about them if they hadn't ripped part of his shirt. Also, they weren't too heavy, but the wings weren't also what you call light. Appreciating the night was a delight to him, especially because Dipper had always been a nightly person. I'm a nightly person. I'm a very nightly person. I love night. Princess Luna. Though he used to fall asleep very fast. When Dipper had insomnia, he leaned against his room's window and watched the stars and the sunrise. At least until he tired himself out. Insomnia. What's insomnia? Does anybody know what insomnia is? I want to know. This is making me interested. What is insomnia? I cannot tell you. Not yet. And then Aronde's smirk was back. Dipper's mind told him to run as fast as he could, but his heart told him to do whatever he wanted. And he wanted to follow Aronde to see where this would lead to. Also, she stopped and spun on her heels, staring into Dipper's golden eyes. Whatever you see, whatever you hear, you must. You must. She stopped herself from completing the sentence. It's nothing. Let's go. She started walking again, lowered her head until she was staring at her own feet while walking, oblivious to the world around her. Dipper wondered what she was going to say. You must? I must what? Does she want me to trust her? Is that what she wants? He decided to drop the subject, for now. This wasn't over, not yet. Not while he was still a mystery hunter. And a truth seeker. Before he could... dang it! Before he could do anything, Dipper noticed he was now looking at the floor as well, not even staring at Arande's back. Sighing and inhaling a certain amount of air, Dipper looked up at the sky full of stars. The moon shone bright in the sky. It must have been around 7 to 8 p.m. Where are we going? He asked again. Arande didn't answer immediately. When Dipper was going to ask the same question again, he kept asking until she decided to tell him. She spoke in a soft yet dark voice. Trust me. And she had completed her sentence, even if it took more than 5 minutes to do so. You must trust me. She repeated in a louder and stronger tone, just to make sure Dipper had heard what she said. No matter what, she finished. It was barely a whisper, but the forest surrounding them was so quiet that it was possible for Dipper to hear it. I see. That was all the boy said. Dipper never thought the forest would be this quiet at night. While he hunted for monsters, it was noticeable how the forest was always agitated, full of monsters, full of secrets, full of mysteries. However, at night, the forest was also full of its own mysteries. However, those mysteries were not unnatural ones. They were what humans wondered during the night, when they are stargazing or sleeping under the stars. Also, Dipper used to stare at the sky and wonder during a rainy night, because the stars seemed to shine even brighter during the night. But without any rain, they seemed less bright and more mysterious. I can hear your thoughts, Arande suddenly said. I can hear what you think about the night, about the universe. She looked up, but didn't smile or show any sign of enjoyment. She was serious. Sometimes the night can be shadowy, dark and mysterious to the level of giving you nightmares. But most of the times, it's beautiful in its own way. That is how the relation between humans is. And humans are like night. And the humans are like knights. Don't you agree? Dipper stopped to think about it. He nodded, finally. However, as soon as he stopped talking, one question crossed his mind. Arande, if you really died, then how come I can touch you? He extended his hand to touch her arm. However, as soon as he did that, his hand passed through Arande's arm like she was never there. What? How? He murmured in astonishment. He bumped on her, that remembering feeling the pain was real, but he did that while grabbing the broom from the floor and accidentally bumping into her standing up. The mind is something really weird, isn't it? Arande started again. Dipper felt like every 5 minutes she started to speak random things. For one minute, do you think you're talking to a normal girl to a parking lot, then discover she's a lost soul? How ironic, the destiny. Wait! Did Arande just refer to herself as a lost soul? Dipper raised an eyebrow. Should he really ask about it? Every time he asked her something, she started to talk about random things that are completely out of topic. However, it was worth a try. Why did you say lost soul instead of ghost? And he was met with silence. Arande, before seemed like an open person. However, after revealing her shocking secret, Arande seemed completely oblivious to any kind of oblivious thing. She couldn't answer even the simplest question, like what's your favorite color? That wasn't in there, I just added that. Dipper at this point didn't know if she wanted to give him any answers, or if she was really badly affected after revealing the truth. Dipper sighed, seeing she wouldn't answer. Everything he heard were the sounds of their asymmetrical footsteps. No whispers, no nothing. It's okay. You don't need to answer if you don't want to. There are 2 types of ghosts on Earth, Arande interrupted, and finally Dipper was getting some answers. The normal ghosts are the lost souls. The normal ghosts are already born as ghosts. What? The lost souls become ghosts, and this is why they are called lost, because they are forced to roam upon this... Oh my god! Ha ha ha, not saying it's referencing anything. And this is why they're called lost, because they're forced to roam upon this planet for the rest of their miserable lives. I will be forced to roam around for the rest of my miserable life. Another tear slid down her cheek. She wiped it away with her sleeve and her baby blue long sleeve shirt. I thought she was wearing a black shirt. However, she soon smiled. How funny, isn't it? Dipper didn't answer. Dipper didn't answer. Instead, he narrowed his eyes at her. Something about her behavior made him very suspicious. Oh, here we are! Her exclamation made him stop on his tracks and look ahead. They were at the exit, or the entrance of a clearing. Unlike the previous clearing where they had found the horrifying black wyvern, this one was illuminated by the moon and had few butterflies flying around. However, something about this place made Dipper feel agony, as if he would predict the future. Before we enter, may I tell you a tale? You want to tell me a tale? Dipper asked. Yes. I don't see why not. And he leaned against one of the million pine trees surrounding them to make himself more comfortable. Knowing Aronde, even if for a few hours, he knew this would take some time. She smiled and started to tell her tale. Storytelling time! Once upon a time, there was a prince. He was an innocent and happy life. He was an innocent and a happy life living in hell, a peaceful place. As a young prince, even if he did not behave like one, he behaved like a normal child. When he got older, the prince started training to control his powers. During the first session of training, the other demons and angels discovered that the prince had gotten potential and was very powerful, more than an ordinary demon. However, as the prince grew up, he started to train harder and discover more of his powers. The more powers he got, the more he wanted. No matter how strong he was, the prince always wanted more power. That kept until he had enough power to destroy the entire solar system. Dipper's eyes widened. What the heck was she even talking about? Upon discovering he had reached his limit, and not satisfied with the power he already had, the prince decided to absorb the power from other demons and angels, especially the most powerful ones. Dipper let out a silent gasp that stuck in his throat, making it burn. How would that work? Something about this tale sent shivers down his spine. However, Aronde wasn't finished. Ow. When the other demons and angels discovered what the prince did, he had killed so many lives just for the lust of power. Many demons and angels decided to organize a camp. Oh my god, this story's about Bill's son, isn't it? Oh wait, that was 100% unintentional. That was a freaking Attack on Titan theme song. That's all I know. This is about Bill's son, isn't it? He wanted more power, so he could destroy the blood. Okay. I lost my place. Council, and after everything was done, the prince was judged and his sentence was death. He was not only a murderer, he was a threat. The catch was one member of his family he had to kill him. His father couldn't kill his own offspring, so the prince's uncle offered himself to kill the young demon instead. The father was forced to watch his son's death appear right in front of him. His own brother had killed his son. The prince... Wait, what? Oh, it was probably, the pink circle! That's all I know. Okay. The prince had begged and prayed for mercy, but the uncle didn't seem to care. Or at least he didn't seem to. Aronde closed her eyes. The prince's obsession led him to his own end. After that, Dipper was horrified. And then, that's the same with humans. Their obsessions, fears, and dreams led them to their own end in the most tragic and painful way possible. She lowered lowers her head again, as if Dipper's glare would kill her, which is kind of impossible since she's already, dead. He nodded. I see. Dipper turned his attention to the clearing. But what does the clearing have to do with that tail? Oh my god! Aronde turned and opened to the open field behind her. A sad smile tugged at the corner of her lips as she started to walk forward into the field. Dipper noticed this and immediately followed her. As she stopped in the middle of the clearing, with Dipper next to her, she turned her head to face him and stared him in the eye. Dipper waited for an answer, even if it would never come. He'd wait. Life is meaningless, isn't it? She asked rhetorically, as if that was some kind of natural joke. The meaning of it. We all die one day, and we know that we have this fate since we are born. So why bother do we living? Dipper knew now she wanted an answer. He also knew the answer to this because he once asked Mabel about it, and she answered the same thing he would say now. That's the point, he said, looking at the trees in amazement. He quickly snapped out of his trance due to the clearing's beauty, and then looked at Aronde, who still required an answer. We know life is short, and this is why we live it to the fullest. Dipper's eyes shone in excitement. Even if there are people who don't appreciate their lives, we try to. Aronde nodded. What about you? She asked. A hint of guilt and sadness could be noticed in her voice tone. Do you appreciate your life? Yes. They stood there like that for some time. Dipper looked at the pine tree to his left and noticed a crow-like bird standing on one of the branches. However, looking closely, he noticed that there wasn't just one. There was more than 30. Aronde? He tried to warn, but his voice came to a whisper of fear and fright. The birds laid their crimson eyes. Oh my god, the crimson eyes! Oh my god, don't you dare! On him upon hearing his voice. Aronde again let his tears slid down her cheek. Jeez, she's getting too emotional. What the heck is going on? Dipper thought as he tried to concentrate. Aronde, are you alright? He asked again, this time in a little softer tone. She looked at him, more tears brimming at the corner of her eyes, daring to fall, to shatter into pieces again, to leave her alone. Aronde? Dipper was now feeling uncomfortable by her constant stare. It was as if she was planning something worse than everything humans have done. Eno on Truste. Dipper stiffened as... Oh my god! Dipper stiffened as the voice rang through his mind, speaking of an unknown language to him. It was back. Dipper didn't know what it was, but he knew it was back, and he always felt an uneasy presence near him. It was always watching every movement, every thought, and every step. Dipper knew that since he had started a deal with Bill Cipher, strange things started to happen around him. Was Bill Cipher the source of all this trouble? Aronde lowered her head for a second before turning to face Dipper at her side. The voice couldn't be Aronde, could it? Forgive me, Dipper, Aronde said, not being able to hold back her tears anymore. They slid down her cheeks like a river, calm, but prone to cause a tsunami. She knew she had to do it, but at what cost? She turned to the horde of birds lingering in the shadows and trees, as if they could attack... What? As if they could be attacked at any moment. Forgive me. And no on Trustu. Ender on Trustu. Ender on Trustu. And no on Trustu. What? Fedi. Fedi. Aronde's low, dysdramatic, and demon voice ordered. Within a second, a bunch of... What? Within a second, a bunch of black feathered birds opened their wings and took flight, landing where Dipper was, surrounding him completely. One of them, a mix of black and white feathers in a dysdramatic mess, stepped forward, and his crimson eyes connected to Dipper's birthmark, which started to glow, causing Dipper to feel a cool sensation on his forehead. Something like this triggered a throbbing in his head. Immediately, all the other birds did the same until they were all connected to Dipper's, whose legs started to tremble, and their and then all of his energy seemed to vanish slowly, but not as slowly as he wanted it to. What is this feeling? Dipper turned to the exit of the clearing. Aronde was running away. Aronde! He whispered, realization hit him hard. Hit him hard. Like a brick. Like tons of bricks at the same time. Or maybe a brick wall. Aronde! Dipper shouted, realizing what she had done. Aronde left him to die. He tried running after her, but the horde of birds flying around him made it difficult to find any way out. His vision started to get blurry. Everything around him started to spin. The world was switching from black to white, and so on. He couldn't recognize a bird from his own emerging darkness. Dipper, even at a verge of unconsciousness, could hear only a final whisper to him. I'm sorry. It couldn't have been an illusion, but it could have been an illusion, but it wasn't. It could have been a dream, but it wasn't. It could have been a lie, but it wasn't. It could have been anything, but it wasn't. Then, what was it? Dipper fell to his knees. All his energy was gone. Completely gone at this point. He could not stand anymore, feeling the weight of the world within him. He felt so empty, so lonely, so betrayed. Why did he feel so guilty? Why did he feel so disappointed? Why did he feel so empty inside? Dipper wanted to feel anger, but he couldn't find any strength to do so. Whatever those creatures were, they were sucking his energy, his determination, at this point of making him give up. His wings were losing their color and becoming gray, and he couldn't even keep them up. At the point they fell to the floor, making some birds retreat for a second, but then came back. Finally, Dipper stopped resisting. He fell to the floor. He allowed the birds to take all of his life away, and to take his energy away. That is what they wanted, his energy. He let go. He gave in. It was useless to fight. It was so useless. Everything went black, but Dipper was still conscious enough to hear a demonic voice greeting him through the darkness. It's been so long, little brother. What the fuck? What is going on? What? I want to find out so bad. Well, everybody, that's it for this episode. I hope everyone enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye! And you're out.